How's it going, creeps? Welcome to the Friday Night Creep Show. If you're new here, my name is Drustifer, and every Friday night we do the Friday Night Creep Show live stream, and we watch a movie and we talk horror. So if you're new here, glad you're here. Bobby, I see you in the chat. Stoked to have you here. As we go through, more and more people will show up. Feel free to talk in the chat and just sit back, enjoy the movie. Sometimes we go on these side quests and talk horror, and we hit IMDb pages, and it is a lot to talk about and a lot of things to do here on the Friday Night Creep Show. So if you saw the community post and you saw the tab and the title of the video, then you know that we are watching Night of the Living Dead, George A. Romero's version from 1968. So this is a pivotal zombie film, or the zombie film that basically inspired everything zombie that we have today. So we're going to be watching the black and white version, and we are also going to be doing a giveaway. So on last week's stream, I talked about the giveaway we were going to do tonight. And, we gave away a shirt and a coffee cup last week, but tonight we're going to be giving away something that is even near and dear to my heart, and that is VHS tapes. So whether or not you have a VCR or whether or not you collect VHS tapes, I collect horror VHS, and let me help you start your collection, right? So I'll tell you guys how to enter the giveaway when we start it, but tonight we're going to be giving away Night of the Living Dead. So obviously the movie that we're watching tonight, but this tape is the colorized version. So if you've never seen the colorized version, we're going to be giving this one away tonight. And this is actually a tape from 1987. So obviously the movie came out in 68, but this is a vintage tape from 87. So check that out. It is there, and look at the tape inside there. There is no mold. I'm not going to give you a tape that you can't play. So this is a playable tape. So I'll tell you guys how we're going to run that giveaway in just a little bit. Like I said, the box is in pretty good condition. So if you're a collector, this is a gnarly piece to have in your collection. Also, going to be giving away one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite tapes, and I'm going to be giving away this Lost Boys tape with this blood cassette tape. So this is a playable tape. There is no mold on the tape itself, so you don't have to worry about putting it in your player. I'm going to be giving this one away, and it is an original. This is an original. This is a tape swap, but it is an original case and all of that, and Lost Boys. So these are out of my private collection. I just pulled two tapes at random, and those two tapes are going to be what we're giving away. Frank, how the heck you doing? Glad to see you here as usual. Let's go ahead and let's check out IMDb for some of the details here on the Night of the Living Dead. All right, so here we go. Night of the Living Dead. You guys know this is from 1968. Rated R. It is 1 hour and 36 minutes. So on IMDb, has a 7.8 out of 10. And if you've never seen this movie, it is an excellent and entertaining watch. It is a pivotal movie that if you haven't seen, you have to watch it if you're a horror fan. So the synopsis is: a ragtag group of Pennsylvanians barricade themselves in an old farmhouse to remain safe from a horde of flesh-eating ghouls that are ravaging the northeast of the United States. Directed by George A. Romero, written by John Russo and George A. Romero, stars Dwayne Jones, Judith O'Dea, and Carl Hardman. And we can go ahead and we can look at some of the trivia, because I think that is going to be interesting for you guys to keep in mind as this one plays. So we'll click on it here. So this is one of the most profitable independent movies ever made for $114,000, which was equivalent to $941,000 in 2022. It grossed approximately $30 million over 263 times its budget. So obviously, this movie was a major success when it came out. If you're, like I said, unaware of the movie, then you may not know how huge of a movie this was, not just for horror, but for indie filmmaking at the time. Let me see here. When the writers decided to base the film on zombies, they brainstormed about what would be the most shocking thing for the zombies to do, and people decided on cannibalism. Let's see. When the zombies are eating the bodies in the burnt out truck, they were actually eating roast ham covered in chocolate sauce. The filmmakers joked that it was so nausea inducing that it was almost a waste of time putting the makeup on the zombies, as they ended up looking pale and sick anyway. So there's a lot of facts here. We're not going to go through every single one. We're just going to pick some at random. The U.S. movie rating system was instituted on November 1st, 1968. This film released October 1st, 1968. It's one of the last films released in the U.S. without a rating. Now, we said it was rated R. I guess they just have to put a rating up here on IMDb. Let's see. The word zombie is never used. The most common euphemism used to describe the living dead is those things, mostly by Cooper. Other characters refer to the creatures as ghouls and flesh eaters. However, the film codified many tropes about zombies that have been used in many movies since, including zombies eating human flesh and that zombies can only be killed by shooting them in the head. So, if you're out there in the chat, let me know what your favorite zombie movie of all time is. And if you want to talk a little bit about it, we can. And Bobby, I don't know if you've seen this or if you have, since we're talking in the chat about the movie Longlegs, if you've seen that one yet or if you're interested at all in it. But I just put up my review for it probably an hour ago, and it's on the channel. Yeah, I was not, against popular opinion, I was not extremely impressed with Longlegs. The Color Night, made by Tom Sanlivan with a female star. Is the movie called Color Night? I'll have to check that out. Let me look at that. So, yeah, Warm Bodies. So Warm Bodies, you know, I know the movie, but I've never seen it. This one right here. I may have seen bits and pieces of it, but I've never watched it in total. When did this come out? 2013. So if you guys say it's good, I'll watch it. You said The Color Night, 1994 or 2001. This one? I don't think this is the one. Oh, I figured. So me and you share the same one, Return of the Living Dead. You can't go wrong with zombies and punks. Yeah, this here. So obviously Tarman is, you know, the goat. Tom Sam Liv. I'm gonna check out this one that Bobby's talking about. Am I spelling that right? The Color Night. I'll have to look at this a little bit more and see. Anyhow, so what about George A. Romero? So obviously he was a force to be reckoned with, and you know, obviously passed away 2017, and he was making movies basically up until that time, you know. Obviously 2011, He was getting on up there in age. You know, Dead Time Stories Volume 2, The Crazies 2020 or 2010, and I think this might have been his last zombie movie, unless you count The Crazies Survival of the Dead. He also had that one Diary of the Dead that came out. Do you guys remember that one? This one? Yeah, Land of the Dead is pretty sick too. I like Land of the Dead. Zombies are one of those things that, you know, it's hard to make a bad zombie movie. Like, I'm sure they're out there, but it's hard because it's just such a cool concept, and it's a concept that they sort of pioneered in this movie. So it's really cool to see the evolution of the zombie. And here's a question I want to ask you guys in the chat is, do you like running zombies or do you like slow zombies? And don't answer it yet. Let's put a poll up. Give me 1 second. Which type of zombies do you prefer? Running or slow? All right, cool. We're about to add this. Oop, hang on. Running or slow. It depends for me, honestly, but all right, so check that out. So vote on oh, is it just called Night, Bobby? Let me see here. From 1990. Because I'm always looking for something new. So if I can find that, I'm definitely going to check it out. Dawn of the Dead, Land of the Dead. Yeah, so use that command right there. Either type in !run or !slow to vote over in the chat. Toothache Pain says he likes the slow ones because he might be able to get away. Yeah, you don't wind up dinner that way. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit easier that way. Planet Terror is sick. So did you guys like this one here, Army of the Dead, when that one came out? Zack Snyder. Oh, Tom Savini. Yeah, okay. I kind of thought that might be who you're talking about, but I was unsure. Love Tom Savini, right? Tom Savini is the king of special effects. I started this one. This one was obviously, being a Zack Snyder movie, was absolutely over the top. You know, he obviously, like, really, he prioritizes action first. Movies like this, they don't feel like horror. They feel more like an action movie. See, this doesn't even say horror here, and it's about zombies, action, crime, drama. So, kind of interesting how horror is not even in there. So, old Tom Savini. Does anybody, how well do you guys know Tom Savini? What is your favorite Tom Savini work? if you had to guess or decide? I mean, we can look. Let's look together and see. So, we'll go through this. So, for special effects, no. Where's the special effects credits? Here we go. Special effects credits. Let's go through here and see if you guys can read this. And we'll see what we all like the best. Friday the 13th, final chapter from 1984. The Prowler from 81. The Burning from 1981. It's going to be hard to pick one. So, my favorite Tom Savini special effects is this right here, Maniac. If you've never seen this, this is the 1980 version. This scene right here that they're about to show, if you're squeamish, I don't know if it's going to show it or not, but if you're squeamish, don't watch it. But this guy gets his head blown off with a shotgun, and Tom Savini does all that, and that is just amazing to me. I really love that particular scene, so I have to say my favorite Tom Savini special effect is that one. Doomsday. You talking about this one, Frank? I've never seen this. Mankind Has an Expiration Date by Neil Marshall. A futuristic action thriller where a team of people work to prevent a disaster threatening the future of the human race. I must need to check this out then. 28 Days Later is pretty cool, as well as, is it 28 Weeks Later? Those are pretty gnarly. Yeah, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to go ahead and write it down. I have some paper right here just to remind myself. So, Toothache Pain, if you're still out there, what is your favorite horror movie of all time? What is this? 2008. And Bobby, if you're out there still, what is your favorite horror movie of all time if you had to pick one? This is a no judgment zone too, so feel free to let me know what it is that you like. I like some pretty bad movies, so I'm sure anything that you like cannot be worse than anything that I like. All right, I think I disappeared there for a minute, but I'm back. So I know what you did last summer. Stop trolling me with that. That is a solid ass movie. Solid. You can hate on I Know What You Did Last Summer all you want, but it is solid. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see if we can crank up the giveaway here. Oh, sweet, Resident Evil franchise. So, believe it or not, I have been Resident Evil'd to death over the last 2 weeks because my buddy Boom Squad Gaming has been playing Resident Evil on stream, and I know Frank's been there, so we've been watching, and it's been non-stop with Resident Evil video games, which I know is different. Oh, sweet. So, look, Toothache likes, I still remember what you did last summer. Yeah, so the second one, the first and the second one, I liked them both. But if you watch my Guilty Pleasure video on the channel, I talk about why I love I Know What You Did Last Summer. And Frank loves to give me a hard time about it. Yeah, Resident Evil movies, though, they're just... They pull on that nostalgia factor for, simple reason of if you're my age or maybe a little bit older, maybe even a little bit younger, like those games came out, and you know, you just love the movies, you love the games, so you love the movies. But trying to find out where old Boom Squad's at. Frank, from Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, it's solid. That actually has Tom Savini in it as well, right? So he actually plays a character in that movie. He has the old PP pistol, because when they're pulling guns on each other, he has the little flap that lifts up, and it has the little 6-shooter revolver. Yeah, this is definitely more vampires, but it does have Tom Savini in it. And I'm a Robert Rodriguez fan, so love Robert Rodriguez and Harvey Keitel. Great movie. Yeah, the old revolver dong. All right, so let me see if we can get this giveaway fired up. And then Toothache, I'm not sure if you saw or not, but we're giving away 2 VHS tapes. So if you collect VHS tapes or not, I'm giving 2 away. I'm giving away the colorized version of Night of the Living Dead, and I'm giving away a Lost Boys VHS tape. So I collect horror VHS, so whether or not you collect them or not, if it's something you would like to do, or you just want a cool tape, then feel free to enter in the giveaway. And all you're going to have to do is basically type something in the chat when it prompts you, and then I will pick somebody at random. All right, so there's the instructions right there. All you got to do is type in !VHS, and this is going to run for 20 minutes. So, and then this software picks you guys at random, and then whoever wins, you're probably going to have to send me your details here to my email, and I'll send this tape out to you. cinemacreepreviews@gmail.com. All right, so yeah, so this is the email that you're going to want to use if you win. And I love Rosemary's Baby. I have that actually right here above me on VHS somewhere. Like I said, I collect VHS tapes. Frank knows this about me, but you guys here that are new may not know completely about Cinema Creep and the things we do over here. So Cemetery Man is a zombie movie. So if you're out there in the chat and you have yet to see Cemetery Man from 1994, it is a solid movie. And I'm going to be making a video coming up on the channel all about it. So Cemetery Man is pretty crazy. You know, it's a sleeper. Not many people talk about it. And I have a blast when I watch this movie, Frank. I assume that you liked it as well. It is, like I said, it's an Italian horror movie, and it's just a good time. Tons of atmosphere, zombies, a little bit of comedy in it. You can tell that movies like this left an impression on the guys that made Shaun of the Dead, because it kind of has some of the same elements. And you know, it's just solid in my opinion. If you guys want to enter into that giveaway, all you got to do is type in !VHS like that, and it'll enter you in. And like I said, in 17 minutes, it will pick a winner. So, all right, so let's go ahead and let's get Night of the Living Dead fired up, and watch this. Feel free to talk in the chat about whatever's on your mind. We normally talk throughout the movie. I don't talk on mic a whole lot, but I definitely in the chat. So if there's something that you want to talk about type of way. And this is on Tubi, so there will be ad breaks, so forgive me in advance. We try to get through those as smooth and as quick as possible. All right, so here we go. Night of the Living Dead, 1968. Real quick, if you're out there in chat, what are you guys snacking on? Anybody have any snacks? I've got coffee, and I've got this. Flaming Hot Cool Ranch Doritos. It's my movie snack for the night. I can't say they're gonna go well together though.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to blow Sunday on a scene like this? You know, I figure we're either going to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, you know that she can't. Is there any of that candy left?
No.
Look at this thing. We still remember. I don't. You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
Johnny, it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200 miles into the country and she stays at home.
Well, we're here, John, all right?
Test. We're back on? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problems.
There's nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
Well, there's no one around.
Well, it's late. If you'd gotten up earlier.
Oh, look, I already lost an hour's sleep on the time change.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish. You can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one. Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh? Hey, I mean, praying's for church, huh? Come on.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well, there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
Hey, you're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny. Oh! No! No! Johnny! Help me!
I'll give you $574 if you switch.
Thanks, Frank. So like I said, that there is ad breaks on here because it's Tubi, so we're going to do our best to get through them, but they normally don't last that long. And I agree with you, Toothache, that the black and white versions do make things a little bit scarier, whether that's zombies, vampires, or Frankenstein, right? Frankenstein's monster. So yeah, definitely agree with that. Yeah, I'm pressing too many damn buttons over here. All right, so here we go. We're back in.
All right. Don't worry about him. I can handle him. Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us. The truck is out of gas. This pump out here is locked. Is there a key? We can try to get out of here if we can get some gas. Is there a key? I suppose you've tried this. Do you live here? Jesus. We've got to get out of here. We have to get to where there's some other people. Maybe we better take some food. I'll see if I can find some food.
What's happening?
Oh, you think it's happening?
What's happening?
Two of them. There are two of them out there. Have you seen any more around here? I can take care of those two.
I don't
I know you're afraid, but we have
I
to...
don't know! I don't know! What's happening? Oh.
So we're in here now. Don't look at it. Get some more lights on in this house. Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some boards, something there by the fireplace, something we can nail this place up. Oh, God damn! Look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right here. We'll be all right here until someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay? that's wrong. Here, I want you to pick out some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find.
On Chewy, save 35% off your first order when you shop all.
All right, so another ad break. So interesting topic here, talking about our Deadites zombies. I like to think that since they have to be summoned, then they're demons. The zombies are called ghouls in the movie. Huh, I did not know that. The first credit for Fast Zombies is in 1980's the movie Nightmare City. I've never seen it, but that's what Google said, so I'm gonna have to check out Nightmare City from 1980 if you've seen it. Let me know if it's any good. But that is the first credit for fast running zombies. And then, you have 28 Days Later, which sort of brought that more into mainstream, and now pretty much all zombies are fast.
There, this room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors. Won't be long before those things will be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now. They're afraid of fire. I found that out. You know a place back down the road called Beekman's Diner? Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have out there. There's a radio in the truck. I had jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped moving. By now, it was like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Still hear the man screaming. This thing is just backing away from it. I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left except by now there were no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there, staring at me. I started to drive. I just plowed right through them. They didn't move, they didn't run or just stood there staring at me. Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding in the cemetery, Johnny and me. Johnny. We came to put a wreath on my father's grave. Johnny, and And he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And, oh, it's hot in here. Hot. And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said, "I'm not afraid, Johnny." And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it." And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up, and I said, "Goody." And he grabbed me. He grabbed me, and he ripped at me. He held me, and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh, I screamed, "Johnny! Johnny, help me! Oh, help me!" And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny didn't come. We have to wait for Johnny. Maybe we better go out and get him. We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please! We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead!
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason for the slayings. It seems to be a sudden, general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins. Eyewitnesses say they are ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Others describe them as being So, at this point, there is no really authentic way for us to say who or what to look for and guard yourself against. Misshapen monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have been unable to determine that any kind of organized investigation is yet underway. Police, sheriff's deputies, and emergency ambulances are literally deluged with calls for help, and the scene can best be described as mayhem. Mayors of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Miami, along with the governors of several eastern and midwestern states, have indicated the National Guard may be mobilized at any moment, but that has not happened as yet. The only advice our reporters have been able to get from official sources is for private citizens to stay in their homes behind locked doors. Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis has been determined and until we can advise what course of action to take. Keep listening to radio and TV for any special instructions as this crisis develops further. Thousands of office and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment, not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to reach their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word that the President has called a meeting of his cabinet to deal with the sudden epidemic of murder which has seized the eastern third of this nation. The meeting is scheduled to convene within the hour. Members of the presidential cabinet will be joined by officials of the FBI and the Joint Chiefs behind closed doors. The White House spokesman, in announcing this conference, says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible following that meeting. This is the latest dispatch just received in our newsroom. Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C. now tells us that the emergency presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's the extent of this latest bulletin. Repeating, the President, members of his cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and scientists from NASA within the hour. All radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country, including the one to which you're listening, have joined their facilities in an emergency network to bring you this news as it develops. We urge you to stay tuned to radio and TV and to stay indoors at all costs. Late reports reaching this newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge in churches, schools, and government buildings, demanding shelter and protection from the wholesale murder which apparently is engulfing much of the nation. Law enforcement officials are at a loss to explain or, even at this hour, even to theorize about the reasons for this wave of murder. So far, the advice we are able to give the public is summarized by Police Chief T.K. Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina, who is quoted as saying, quote, "Tell the people, for God's sake, to get off the streets. Tell them to go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here." End quote. Police Chief Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina. So far, the only descriptions, the only clues anyone has of the killers come from frightened witnesses of some of the slayings. These eyewitness accounts variously describe the murderers as ordinary-looking people, misshapen monsters, people who look like they're in a trance, and things that look like people but act like animals. Some eyewitnesses tell of seeing victims who look as though they had been torn apart. This whole ghastly story began developing 2 days ago with the report of the slaying of a family of 7 in their rural home near Gulfport, Louisiana. Since then, reports of such senseless killings began snowballing in a reign of terror which has hopscotched in an erratic, disconnected manner throughout much of the eastern and midwestern United States. Efforts to keep track of the murder reports by the placing of markers on a map seem to indicate a general spreading from the extreme southeastern United States to the north and west. Our newsmen have been on the telephone talking with officials in other cities and have determined that none of this kind of mass murder has yet been reported west of the Mississippi River, except in the extreme southeastern portion of Texas. Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like...
I found a gun and some bullets out there.
It was only late yesterday
Oh, and
when it
these.
first became clear we were facing some kind of national emergency. When first reports began filtering in, newsmen and law enforcement agencies were of the opinion
This
that
place is
killings
boarded
were
up pretty solid now.
in nature. However, as these
We ought to be all right here for a while.
increased dramatically, it was soon apparent that
We
this
have a
was
gun
something
and
more than the
bullets,
usual run of lawlessness.
food and the
Some
radio.
officials began to suspect an obscure kind of conspiracy.
Sooner or later, someone's
Things as
bound to come and get us out.
creatures from outer space. So again, we join with law enforcement agencies in urging you to seek shelter in a building. Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Be cautious of any suspicious strangers. And keep tuned to your radio and television for survival instructions and further details of this continuing story.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me, but I'm going upstairs now. If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down to take care of it. Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay? Okay.
Civil defense officials in Cumberland have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Consistent reports from witnesses to the effect that people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the flesh of the people they kill. And so this incredible story becomes more ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you, reports which have been verified as completely as is possible in this confused situation. It is happening, and it would appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass murder.
Don't shoot! We're from town. A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff has verified that reports of murder victims being partially eaten by their slayers is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long have you guys been down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How were we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody if they needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help?
Well, if there were more...
The racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now, wait a minute. You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from down there. Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would be nice if you get your story straight, man.
All right, now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, why don't we settle this...
Look, mister, we came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Yeah, most of it. All but a few spots upstairs. They won't be hard to fix.
You're insane. The cellar's the safest place.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now you tell me those things can't get through this lousy pile of wood?
His wife and kids downstairs. The kid's hurt.
Well, I still think we're better off up here.
We could strengthen everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we could fix this place up in no time. We have everything we need up here.
We can take all that stuff downstairs with us. Man, you're really crazy, you know that? You got 1,000,000 windows up here. All these windows, you're gonna make them strong enough to keep these things out, huh?
I told you those things don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
Oh, hell, any good 5 men can do that.
That's my point. Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. there's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if there are that many, they'll probably get us wherever we are.
Look, the cellar. The cellar, there's only one door, right? Just one door, that's all we have to protect. Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next.
You got a point, Mr. Cooper. But down in the cellar, there's no place to run to. I mean, if they did get in, there'd be no back exit. We'd be done for. We can get out of here if we have to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside. But down there with no windows, if a rescue party did come, we wouldn't even know it.
But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar is a death trap.
I don't know, Mr. Cooper. I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
I don't know. Maybe 6 or 7.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar, and you better decide. Because I'm going to board up that door, and I'm not going to unlock it again no matter what happens.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Cooper.
No, I'm not going to wait. I've made my decision, now you make yours.
Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least consider this a while.
If you box yourself in this cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it. At least up here you have a fighting chance.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
There's more than there were. There are a lot out back, too.
So far, the best advice there
It's all right.
The mosquitoes are just all over the...
Quiet, please.
Okay.
All right, so obviously this is getting closer to the end of the film, but it's amazing how in every zombie movie you always have the group of people. Nobody can decide on what should be done. There's never a movie where everybody agrees on what to do. And I assume it's more realistic that way, but you know, you figure that we can all agree that going in the cellar is not the best option, right? Going in the basement is not the best option. And one guy says it. He's like, obviously, you know, if we go down there, we have nowhere to go. It's rule number 1. Don't trap yourself during a zombie apocalypse.
We gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be in every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in your damn cellar. Get out of here!
I'm taking the girl with me.
You leave her here. Keep your hands off her. And everything else that's up here, too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane. We've got to have food down there. We've got a right.
This is your house.
We've got a right.
You going down there with him?
Well,
yes or no? This is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
Listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly, I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid that her old man is so stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
You bastards. You know, I won't open this door again. I mean it.
Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could...
With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here, honey.
You're gonna let them get hurt too, huh?
It's all right, honey. Go ahead. If we stick together, man, we can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better off if all three of us were working together.
Hey. Hey, kid. He's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there.
This radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Well, we're safe now. It's boarded up tight.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there, let them. There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard the screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
Let them stay upstairs. Let them. Too many ways those monsters can get in up there. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
Does anyone up there know why we're being attacked?
Whatever it isn't just happening here. It's some kind of mass murder. It's going on everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
Nothing. Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us so they tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon? We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
Mr. Cooper! Mr. Cooper, Ben found the television set upstairs.
Let's go up. Tom?
Yeah.
If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Okay, yeah, right away.
Will you do it?
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's gonna get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Okay.
Okay, open up.
take care of her, Helen?
She's all I have.
Why don't you go upstairs now?
Her brother was killed.
Hey, give me a hand with this thing.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here. Give me one of those.
Her brother was killed.
And they talk about these windows. I can't see a damn thing. There could be 50 million of those things out there. That's how much good these windows are.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Here, I have it. Drag a couple of those chairs together.
There's the socket over here. You better watch this and try to understand what's going on. I don't want anyone's life on my hands.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on.
There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
Reports, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this? Shut up!
In all parts of the country. The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. The medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed, and we're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you and make your way to that location as soon as possible.
So we have that truck. If we can get some gas, we can get out of here.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know, that's why I pulled in here, but it's locked.
Emergency meeting called this afternoon by the president. Since convening this conference of the presidential cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA has not produced any public information. Why are space experts being consulted about an earthbound emergency? Well, so far, all the betting on the answer to that question centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus. That satellite, you'll recall, started back to Earth, but never got here. That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it. Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering? Newsman Don Quinn in Washington has posed those questions.
It's obvious our best move is to try to get out of here.
How are you going to get over to that pump?
Look.
You're coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
Yes, that was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been irrefutably
explanation
proved.
that we have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen. I must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
Everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between them?
Definite connection as far as Dr. Keller and myself.
Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite, when the satellite was exploded?
An unusual amount of radiation, enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Will there be a reply for this further?
Later?
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon.
Perhaps there will be a report,
yes.
a more
Later.
full report. Will you close the window?
We are doing everything possible to solve the problem.
We're hoping to get some further explanation of this.
We've heard all we need to know. We have to try to get out of here.
He said the rescue stations have doctors and medical supplies. If we could get care in there, we could get help for her.
Romero is one of the world's foremost authorities on space science and technology.
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming, and Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead. Then these other people came. We went down into the basement and put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong.
How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and the place is surrounded with these things.
For NASA. Dr. Grimes, your entire staff, I know, has been working very hard to find some solution to these things that are happening. Do you have any answers at this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Good advice, Doctor. Now, how about the basic problem of patients? Well,
Look, you go down there and tell... Now, Judy? Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
Action taken with regard to the Venus probe. In the cold room at the...
Instacart shopper thoughts. Who decides the milk expiration?
All right, so quick break. If you're just tuning in, like I said, this is on Tubi, so we have a few of these ad breaks. They don't last too long. So if you guys are interested, we're still running the giveaway for these 2 VHS tapes. So all you got to do is type in !VHS if you want to be entered.
Amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move.
They want you upstairs. Did she ask for me?
She hasn't said anything.
I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy.
I heard I'll come back down as soon as I find out what they want.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh and dangerous.
I see.
Judy, I need you to find some bedspreads or sheets to tear up into small strips, okay? Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars. Make Molotov cocktails and hold them out while we try to escape.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles.
There's a big key ring down there. There may be a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. It better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck, no sweat.
You're it, then. You and I'll go. We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board it up because we'll have to get back in quickly. After we get the gas and get back into the house, then we'll worry about getting everybody into the truck. Now let's move it.
Place to flee for safety, except to the rescue stations which have been set up. Indications are that before this emergency is over, we will need many, many more such rescue stations.
You always have a smile for me. How can you smile like that all the time? How many do you have done? Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, are you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
If I could only call the folks. They're going to be so worried about us.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know. Tom, are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
Yeah.
Well, the television said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
But why do you have to go out there?
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
But we're safe in here.
For how long, honey? We're safe now, but there's going to be more and more of those things.
I know all that.
Hey, listen. Remember when we had the big flood? Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave? Remember? Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey. It's not like just a wind passing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
I just don't want you to go out there, that's all.
Hey, Smiley, where's that big smile for me? Boy, you're sure no use at all, are you? We've got work to do, honey. And you...
We better get her downstairs.
We have to go downstairs now, Barbara.
She's right. You have to go downstairs now, just for a little while, until we get back. Then we can all leave.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You ready upstairs? Yeah. Okay, toss him.
Go ahead, go on.
I'm going with him.
Get back in the cellar.
I'm going.
It's too late. It's too late.
Unless you're coming, come on. Get in. Come on.
This key won't work.
Watch it. Watch the torch.
We gotta get away from the pump. Hang on.
Tom, drive your cars and get out of the truck.
Let's get out of here. Come on, come on.
My jacket's caught.
you out there and feed you those things.
Isn't it 3 o'clock yet? There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait. We can leave. Well, we'd better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
You know anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
I don't know. We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
You said those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
You're gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid. What's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
One of those things grabbed her.
Bit her on the arm.
What's wrong?
Who knows what kind of disease those things carry? Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
Well, one of us could try to get to the car.
You gonna turn it over by yourself?
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
I need better credit card reward.
All right, so as we're cruising into the end of this movie, which character do you hate the most? Cooper? The old guy, the old white dude who tried to lock out our main character, or do you hate Barbara more? Let me know in the chat. I feel like I am team hate Barbara.
Good Lord.
Being monitored closely by scientists at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation remains, government spokesmen warn that dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating ghouls. All persons who die during this crisis, from whatever cause, will come back to life to seek human victims unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation. Our news cameras have just returned from covering such a search and destroy operation against the ghouls, this one conducted by Sheriff Conan McClellan in Butler County, Pennsylvania. So now let's go to that film report. All law enforcement agencies and the military have been organized to search out and destroy the marauding ghouls. The Survival Command Center at the Pentagon has disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
Want anything from the supply wagon, Cuss?
No, we're all right. Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again. All right, I got you.
Chief McClellan, how's everything going?
Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are taking it pretty good. You want to get on the other side of the road over there?
Chief, do you think we'll be able to defeat these things?
Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in there. There wasn't, though. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down. Chief, as soon as you're finished, can I see you here? Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Well, in time, would you say you ought to be able to wrap this up in 24 hours?
Well, we don't really know. We know we'll be into it most of the night, probably into the early morning. We're working our way toward Willard, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan. This is Bill Cardill, WIC TV 11 News.
Thank you, Bill, for that report. Official spokesman declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off all the flesh eaters, so long as the heavy rain...
Is the fuse box in the cellar?
I don't know. It isn't the fuse. The power lines are down. Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
What? 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window, Kit.
Oh, baby. Baby.
Well, you want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out.
Right.
You still here, Bill?
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
One of the volunteers, you're doing all the work, you take it.
Thank you. We should be wrapped up here about 3 or 4 more hours. We'll probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over there and meet the National Guard. Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Well, Bill, I'm going to check in the office, see what's happening.
All right, Steve, tell them we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
They need you down there by the barn. Some of these guys can follow the wagon down. I only need a few men to check out the house. Somebody had a cookout here, Vince.
Yeah, sure looks like it, Cal.
He's the dead one. Get up here. Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire? You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire.
Nothing down here.
All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house, Vince.
There's something there. I heard a noise.
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
Send the wagon through, come directly ahead. Over.
Keep those dogs back off of those things.
What? Move more quickly.
All right, so Night of the Living Dead from 1968. Silverbat, what is up? Nicholas Woodall, everybody. So he won the first VHS giveaway of the night. So the colorized version of Night of the Living Dead. So Nicholas, I don't know if you're here from the beginning when we were talking about the tapes that I'm giving away, but this is the colorized version, and then you came in and you said you actually like the colorized version. So pretty sick that you won it. Now, this is a tape from, obviously it's 1968, but it is a vintage tape from 1987. So it is an old tape, but the tape is playable, and it's out of my personal collection. Tape is clean. There is no mold on the tape itself, like I said beforehand, so it's safe for you to play in your VCR or just sit on your shelf. The box is in good condition. So stoked that you won that. Second tape we're going to give away here on the channel tonight is I'm going to give away Lost Boys blood tape. So Lost Boys, if you guys like it, one of my favorite vampire films, it does have a tape swap on it. So it has this blood cassette. So again, this tape is playable. It has no mold on it. So if you're into this, we're going to start the raffle here in just a second while we're talking about Night of the Living Dead and just talking about general horror stuff. So all you want to do is you want to put exclamation point VHS in the chat, and once you see the prompt pop up, and then you know, grab that if you want that, or enter your name in the chance to win it, should I say. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start that right now. Let me see. Let me get this. I got to make sure I end the other one. And start this one. All right, so check that out in chat if you're interested in that exclamation point VHS. And awesome, Nicholas. I will get this sent out to you beginning of the week. So yeah, so let's talk about the ending. So Bobby asked, did everyone like the ending? So the ending to me is pretty good, right? Like there's really not a better way that could have ended, in my opinion. You know, you have, let's go back to it. So basically you have all of these guys sort of setting things back in order. Like Frank says, a nice, shocking ending. And this was something that was unheard of back then, right? Like, not necessarily having a happy ending, having an ambiguous type of ending. And this film was huge for its time, right? Because it had a black actor in the lead role, and it had him not only in the lead role as a hero in the film, but it had him being able to go up against, you know, Caucasian actors, beating him up and slapping him. That was unheard of during this time. And George A. Romero really took a huge risk doing that. And I believe that guy's name was Dwayne Jones. And way ahead of his time. You know, like, whether or not you buy into like the psychology of movies, there's people that have like examined this film and said it's chock full of like all types of civil and social like lessons to be learned. Hey Silverbat, put the exclamation point in VHS together without a space. That way it'll actually go in the software here. And this software picks people at random, so to keep everything fair, I don't pick who actually wins. But shocking ending. We talked a little bit earlier about favorite zombie films, but if you're new in the chat right now, let's talk more about zombie movies. You know, it's got to be a capital VHS there, Chuck, with no space, just like it shows in that prompt for it to trigger in the software here. No, you guys are good. I know it's a little weird. Not something that I have done a lot myself, so you just got to make sure where it says, you just got to put it exactly like that. Cool. So yeah, that should trigger over here in the software. And that that giveaway is good for 16 minutes, so just keep it going. Yeah, all these rules, I know It just has to be exactly like it shows up there in the prompter. It doesn't work. So, if you guys want to continue to talk about horror, we can, or we could find another short film to watch. You guys let me know what you're into. But if we watch another film, it'll be a short. So, but we are going to be on stream at least for another 20 minutes while that contest runs its course. So, newest video up on the channel is over Longlegs. So if anybody in the chat has seen Longlegs and you want to put your 2 cents in on what you thought of that movie, I would love to hear it. And if you throw that in there, we'll talk a little bit about it. But if not, we'll talk about a few things we talked about a little bit earlier. So here's a film that I mentioned, I think, on Boom Squad's stream on Wednesday. I believe it was Cemetery Man from 1994. And that's what we have up on screen here. So Frank just recently watched this. We had talked about it. This is going to be on an upcoming video for the channel. And this movie, if you like Italian horror, it is, amazing. Just like most Italian horror, I'm a big fan of not just giallos, but just Italian horror in general. And this one right here is beautifully shot. The cinematography is incredible. It has tons of atmosphere. Here at Cinema Creep, we talk about atmosphere and horror all the time. You've got fog, you've got cemeteries, you've got what else do you have in this, Frank? You've got a little bit of gore, you have a little bit of comedy, and it's just an all-around good movie. So highly recommend this if you have not seen it. So Cemetery Man from 1994, you don't hear people talk about it enough. And just as a little spoiler to an upcoming video on the channel, this is going to be on one of the underrated horror film videos that I'm putting out. So I'm putting out a underrated horror film video, and this movie is going to be on there with 4 others. So definitely check this one out. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, whether or not you comment on that video or you come back and talk and stream about it, because like I said, I don't hear people talk about it enough. So when we think about zombie movies, right? Top zombie movies, let's look at what they are by grossing. Let's see. Hang on, give me just a minute. I'll bring it up on screen. All right, so check this out. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I need to update my Chrome. But here we go. It looks like we have World War Z, which is number 1, 202 million lifetime gross. So shout out to them. Hotel Transylvania, which is not a zombie movie. So that's number 2, 148 mil. Zombieland. I'm a huge Zombieland fan. That movie is just phenomenal. It's hilarious. Here you go, Frank, right here. Warm Bodies at number 5. Resident Evil, Dawn of the Dead from 2004. Death Becomes Her. This is another movie you don't hear people talk about as much. It's a phenomenal movie. When's that from? 1992. It's dumb. If you've never seen Death Becomes Her, I recommend you watch it. Let me see. Pet Sematary from 1989 is number 9. Oh yeah. So Frank is talking about the dirt bike shooting out of the ground in Cemetery Man. It is, you have a zombie on a dirt bike that shoots out of a grave, and there's this sick shot where he flies across the moon, and his name is Claudio. So like I said, if that doesn't make you want to watch the movie, I don't know what else would. Was that for Night of the Living Dead? Bobby Riley? So he's saying Tom Savini was going to do makeup work for the film, but he went to Vietnam instead. So Tom Savini has an incredible story. There's a documentary about him, and he talks about his time in Vietnam, and that's why he was able to do makeup so good, was because of all the dead bodies he saw in Vietnam, and he would use those images, whether they were photographs or just mental images, and he would incorporate that realism into his work, and that's why he was, sort of the guy to work with back then. Let's see here. House of the Dead, Evil Dead 2, 1987. So there's a lot of good stuff on here. Not necessarily the most interesting thing to look at here on stream, but it's pretty interesting to see what the #1 movie was. So obviously World War Z with Brad Pitt. Huge movie. It did $31 million in South Korea. Sick. So did anybody ever read the Zombie Survival Guide from back in the day, that book? Does anybody remember that? Yeah, the hospital scene is crazy. Crazy. So between let's say if you had to pick either World War Z or 28 Days Later, which one are you picking? Does anybody have a preference when it comes to those two? "28 Days Later" was wild, in my opinion. I think I would pick 28 Days Later if I had to pick between those two. I also like, what is that guy's name? Cillian Murphy. Right here, this dude. The guy that plays Scarecrow in the Christopher Nolan trilogy. Nicholas is picking World War Z. Silverbat, World War Z. Does it really? Every time I do that? Is that real? Let me, hang on, let me. Are you screwing? Oh, it does. That is weird. Frank, are you messing with me? Are you guys hitting the thumbs up button when I do that? This is tripping me out right here. This is real life. Wow. Okay. Cool. Where do the balloons come from in stream sometimes? Sometimes there's balloons. How does that happen? Does anybody know? Sometimes we're on stream. If you're new here tonight, sometimes balloons will pop up on screen, and I have no idea how that happens. Anyways, okay. Getting sidetracked. I don't know why I decide to count like that, but I guess I do that a lot, and that's why that thumb thing happens. It must be Pennywise. Has everybody in the chat seen Return of the Living Dead? Oh yeah, Tom Savini's makeup school. That would be a freaking dream to go to. Special effects makeup is a lot of fun to do and a lot of fun to play around with, and I couldn't imagine being able to do it at the level that Tom Savini does it. I bet he just has so many crazy freaking stories. Chuck, I think this is one that you would like if you haven't seen it right here. My favorite zombie film of all time, comedy, horror, sci-fi. It's obviously one that is a little more vulgar. You couldn't watch it with your kid in the room, but um, to me, this is the best zombie film because it, you know, yeah, it has this scene right here, the "Do you want to party?" where the skull comes up out of the grave and like, um, you know, when all the zombies are coming to life, you have this scene where the skull comes out of the grave and he screams, "Do you want to party?" It's just a classic scene. But I highly recommend this one if you haven't seen it. Um, it's amazing. It has Tom Matthews in it, who plays Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th Part 6, which is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. Um, and then what Frank is quoting right there, you have Linnea Quigley, the red-haired right here, who plays Trash. Where's she at? Trash. And yeah, she says stuff like, ever think about all the ways you could die? And then, she talks about how she wants to die with a whole bunch of old men standing around her, ripping her apart. It's really weird. But this movie's hilarious. Between Tom Matthews and this guy right here. I can't remember his name. Bert. But hilarious. When two bumbling employees at a medical supply warehouse accidentally release a deadly gas into the air, the vapors cause the dead to rise again as zombies. Oh yeah, the mortician dude. Yeah, he's straight up. He's everybody needs a friend like it. This guy right here, wearing the burgundy. He just 100% became an accomplice to a crime just to help his buddies out. Yeah, he's awesome. So Bobby Riley says head makeup man for Walking Dead TV show went to Tom Savini's school. So you must be talking about Greg Nicotero, who is also an awesome special effects makeup artist. He also does a lot of the Creepshow stuff. So Return of the Living Dead, highly quotable. Highly recommend watching it. So Creepshow, Greg Nicotero, he directs on this a little bit, and he also does some of the makeup. So not just the newer ones, but the older ones as well. So if you have Shudder and you like Greg Nicotero, watch these Creepshows on Shudder because he has a lot to do with this. I think he might even be one of the producers. Let's see. This is just cast. I don't care about that. I care about the below the line. Yeah, see right here, Greg Nicotero directed 13 episodes from 2019 to 2023, and this is him right here. So you guys may have seen him before, but that's Greg Nicotero. And look at this right here, exactly what Bobby's talking about. It tells right here in his bio, learned his trade under the watchful eye of special effects splatter guru Tom Savini. So that's some good facts right there, Bobby. Appreciate that. Toxic Avenger. Yeah, so somebody in the chat recently watched Toxic Avenger for the first time. Was that you, Frank? I grew up watching Toxic Avenger as a kid. Like, it's a movie I shouldn't have been able to see, and that's because they had the cartoon. So they actually made this movie into a cartoon, which was wild. That Trauma got a cartoon, based off of this movie, because this movie is sleazy, but it's fun. Yeah, so Trash dancing around naked in a cemetery in Night of the Living Dead, or Return of the Living Dead, I mean. and it's completely nude. So that's why I say it's not something you want to watch with kids in the room unless you know, you have older kids, I guess, but it's still pretty bizarre. Um I mean, I can appreciate a good cemetery um bit of nudity, you know. That goes in well with like you know, the atmosphere, the fog, right? So on and so forth. Linnea Quigley, though, she's one of those people that just always takes her clothes off in horror films. Yeah, but Toxic Avenger, obviously me and Frank talked about this the other night, but if you weren't on stream with us, they have a remake of this coming out. Silverbat, I'm sure that you may have heard about it, but it is stuck in distribution hell. And that is because the movie was deemed unreleasable, and of all people to play Toxie, you have Peter Dinklage. So Peter Dinklage, awesome actor, but he plays a small version of, you know, Toxic Avenger. So looks like it'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure this will come out on streaming eventually, but they tried to get it to have a theatrical release and it didn't work. So yeah, if you're a fan of trauma films, they have all kinds of different things for all kinds of different people, right? So not only do they have the Toxic Avenger movies, they have Class of Nukem High, and they do several sequels to all their movies. They also have Poultrygeist. I mean, they have all kinds of crazy shit, but they also have like redneck zombies, all kinds of stuff. So Trauma actually has a like a streaming service, believe it or not. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. They have their own streaming service with all their movies on it. So like it's called Trauma Now. I don't subscribe to it. I should though. Here it is right here. Let's see. So you have, look, right here on the top, Rabid Grannies in 4K. Right? I mean, it also has other stuff that's not just Trauma, like The Changeling and other horror movies, but all the Trauma stuff is on here. And so if you're a Trauma fan and you like stuff like Toxic Avenger, it's on here. It's just another horror streaming platform. And you're probably going to get lesser known stuff on here just because of, one, it being a Trauma thing, but two, because Lloyd Kaufman is, you know, like a B movie king. So here's the Trauma library right here. That's what that says. I know you guys can't see the whole thing, but so all the Trauma films are on here. A lot of good stuff. So you get Toxic Avenger in 4K, Toxic Avenger Part 2 in 4K, Mutant Blast. Who would not want to watch Mutant Blast? So what is the cost on this? It's $50 a year, so $5 a month. I think that's worth it. I think let me see here. I don't think the new one is out anywhere yet. But you can get, unless I'm missing it, unless you see it somewhere, Nicholas, the new one that's out there streaming, because I would pay to watch that, but I don't think it's out anywhere yet. You can watch the original on Pluto and Tubi and Amazon Prime for free. Let me see. Let me check out Voodoo and see if it has the new one. Because if so, yeah, I'm not seeing the new one. Yeah, I don't know about Mutant Blast. I don't know if I'd watch this, but you could for $5 a month. All right, check this out. MVD Shop. If you want Redneck Zombies, it's 99 cents right now on DVD. That's a still. Frank, you need to go pick this up. 99 cents. A backwoods bloodbath that'll tickle your funny bone, then rip it out. It includes a bonus CD. For 99 cents. Come on. I know the movie you're talking about. I don't think I've seen it, but I know what you're talking about. So Frank asks if I've seen 976 Evil. This one right here. This is almost like I've seen parts of this. I've had it on, but I've never sat down and paid attention to it. So this is people who dial 976 evil receive a supernatural power and turn into satanic killers. When Spike dialed 976 evil, he knew it was an expensive toll call, but he didn't know that he'd have to pay for it with his soul. Oh, Evil Ed. What is that kid's name? Stephen Jeffries. Like, I know the names when I see them. I can never just remember them. This is directed by Robert Englund, though, for anybody that's interested. You know, who's Freddy Krueger. What else has he directed? And that's it. Killer Pad, Freddy's Nightmares, and 976 Evil. I'm going to check it out. I mean, 5.1 out of 10 sounds like it's right up my alley. So 976 Evil. All right, so Silverbat, if you are out there, you won this VHS. So send me your info to this email, and I'll get that out to you. All right, cool. So we gave both VHS away. You know, like I said before the beginning of the video, Lost Boys VHS. This goes to Silverbat. And the other VHS, The Night of the Living Dead, goes to Nicholas. So cool. So I'll get those out to you guys beginning of the week. I'll probably send them out Tuesday. And Silverbat, if I remember, aren't you in Australia or something like that? Or am I remembering wrong? All right, so two movies that we talked about beginning in the stream was Nightmare City. This is the first movie that was credited with having fast zombies. So this is something I haven't seen, and I don't know if anybody in the chat has seen this. It is Nightmare City from 1980. An airplane exposed to radiation lands, and blood-drinking zombies emerge armed with knives, guns, and teeth. They go on a rampage, slicing, dicing, and biting their way across the Italian countryside. And this sounds sick. So, by Umberto Lindsay. And I love the cover art for this. That is gnarly. So let's click through some of these. So as you guys know, I'm big on one-sheets and horror posters and stuff like that. So I love seeing the different cover art, the different posters for stuff. I don't know. Maybe this was named at one time City of the Walking Dead. A lot of these older movies, they started off with a different name, or they changed their names to get a better theatrical run. But this right here, this is rad. It's Nightmare City. I need that poster. You know, while I'm here, let's look at something real quick. We can watch the trailer for it if you guys would like and you don't mind. Let's see. Oh, check this out right here. So, not that you guys care, or not that you guys know, but I collect horror movie posters. I collect original posters. Have a lot in my house. And right here on eBay is City of the Walking Dead or Nightmare City, $150. But that's not the version I want. This one right here is the cooler version. $145. Where's that coming from? Grand Haven, Michigan. And this is, you guys see how this is, whatever language that is, you know, I love it when they're like in a, like they're a foreign release, like they're in a different language other than English. So that's obviously Spanish, so it's a Mexican version. So I don't know if you guys are into posters or not, but this is out there. Cool, 27 by 39. I like it. Look at this one. What is this? Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Quesadilla in Elm Street 2. Tell me that's not cool. This is $65. That would be worth buying if anybody out there is looking for posters. Look at this one. Sorry, I'm going off on a side quest here, guys, but this is the kind of stuff I nerd out about. Look at this. Tell me this isn't rad right here. So this is an original Nightmare on Elm Street 2 Thai horror movie poster. Tell me this isn't gnarly. Like, this is not something that you're going to see every day. And if you were to buy this and have it in your house, like, major conversation piece. But yeah, I love stuff like that. Yeah, I'm side questing. I do it hard. You guys know if you're a cinema creep, side questing is something I do quite a bit. Alright, cool. Let's watch the Nightmare City trailer. My bad, guys. Anybody else out there collect anything, whether it's horror related or not? Coins, stamps, stickers, I don't know, spouses, cars. Anybody collect anything gnarly? Alright, here's the trailer for this. Alright, I can't let you guys see my birth date. I gotta change this around here. Alright, here we go.
Go somewhere. I don't think that.
Collect souls.
The
That's a good thing to
Instigators,
collect.
rated R.
Top of the news this evening is speculation concerning the real facts behind the Department of Health announcement about a radioactive spill supposed to have occurred yesterday at the state nuclear plant. Information from an official source which reached our newsroom this afternoon stresses the seriousness of the situation.
Oh, shit. This is how every other country envisions America.
Something very serious has happened at the airport. But until we conclude our investigation and take the necessary countermeasures, nothing is going to leak out. Nothing.
Last night I had this nightmare. It was all about my leg. It was a big explosion. It was right here in the hospital. I got hit. My leg got cut off.
Well, we don't have to worry over that any longer. Jim, your leg's going to be just fine.
Yes?
This is Civil Defense Headquarters. General Murchison would like you to come down here right away.
Now.
That zombie, oh my god. This looks amazing. He had like bacon on his face.
This individual and others like him have been subjected to strong doses of atomic radiation, which increase their physical capacities beyond the norm. In short, it's a kind of a Superman.
This is Channel 5 TV station. We're being attacked. For God's sakes, send somebody fast.
Wow.
The victims of these creatures are contaminated, even if they only suffer minor injuries.
Then they can reproduce themselves, Colonel, say, indefinitely? We'll be completely on our own.
We'll simply have to declare a state of emergency ourselves. Or before we all become contaminated.
It already looks better than long legs.
It's frightening. How could a thing like this happen?
It's part of the vital cycle of the human race. Create and obliterate until we destroy ourselves.
Special
Oh my
commando
God.
units positioned at all strategic points in and around the city. Public buildings, offices, and businesses alike have been ravaged, and damage is estimated in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, they were.
My God,
I didn't even notice that.
I don't know.
I was so distracted by their faces. I didn't even realize they're stabbing people.
Dino, I don't want us to die. They're all around us, everywhere! No!
Oh my god.
God help us all.
That looks like Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele. Wow. Alright, so, can somebody out there, please, between now and next Friday Night Creepshow, watch Nightmare City, and come back and let me know how it is in case I don't get a chance to watch it, because it looks like it would be just hell of a good time. So please, somebody out there, watch it and let me know. So Silverback collects bats and dragons. Do you have any taxidermied bats? Yeah, Longlegs, man. I mean, you watched the review. It is what it is, and every YouTube video that I've seen, I've watched honestly only 3 is singing its praises. And if you guys watch it, you may like it. It is up to you to make your own opinion, but me, like I said, I just don't think that Satanist stories are scary. And I don't think that Nicolas Cage running around looking like Mrs. Doubtfire is scary. It's just not. It's not frightening. It's not scary. He acts really good. He acts unhinged. But he doesn't, he does not look good, in my opinion. And if you don't care about seeing it, or you're not going to see it, go watch the video on the channel. You can watch half of it, and I don't spoil it, and then I spoil it in the second half and let you guys know before I get into spoilers. But I let you know the first half of the video what I thought about it. You can watch my anger slowly build. Yeah, I feel like it's like that with most movie reviews that I do. It's like I love talking about movies. Good movies, bad movies, movies that I think are good, movies that I think are bad. I love talking about them. But some movies, it's just like I've had to think about them too much, because I've been thinking about Longlegs since last Friday when I went and saw it in theaters, and writing my review. I write it down to make sure that I'm not going to miss any thoughts, and then holy crap, and then I talk about it to the camera. It's a whole process of me thinking about a movie and then continually letting that live rent-free in my head. It's a process, and Longlegs was one of those. It was just like, I'm sick of seeing Nick Cage, in my head looking like that. He did a good job acting in it, though. I just wanted more. More. So, for some reason, who mentioned Doomsday early on in the stream tonight? Yeah, I definitely let the movies marinate. I don't want to just, I want to make sure that I actually think that they suck before I say that they suck. So I don't do these like straight out of theater reviews. Some people do. They'll go straight out to their car and they'll make a review, which is cool. But I need time to think, okay, I need to process it. Did I hate the movie, or did I think it was phenomenal? And I think that's sort of how Longlegs is you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I don't think that there's any in between. So Doomsday. Frank mentioned this. So Frank mentions this and recommends this movie. So if you guys are out there, I say, if you will, watch Nightmare City and Cemetery Man. Those are my recommendations. And if anybody else has any recommendations, throw them in the chat. Frank recommends this one here. So Doomsday from 2008. Futuristic action thriller where a team of people work to prevent a disaster threatening the future of the human race. Directed by Neil Marshall, written by Neil Marshall. Who do we have in this? Nobody that I know. So, if anybody else has any recommendations, let me know and we'll take a look at them. We might as well, we're here.
This is the end of the world!
It was an epidemic unlike any other. Within days, millions were infected. Within weeks, they were forced together.
Containment is our absolute priority. Blockade all bridges, streets, and rail links.
And then left to die. But 25 years after the outbreak...
It's the virus. It's back.
Containment has failed.
What the hell are we going to do? What we're about to show you is highly confidential. Survivors? Inside the hot zone. And if there are survivors, there must be a cure.
You're going out there. If there's such a thing as hell on Earth, that's it.
I know what we're looking for. If it's there, I'll find it. Take us in.
Now.
Once you're over that wall, there's no system, no rules, no backup.
To find a cure,
We're against the clock on this one.
they must return to the world they left behind.
How the hell are we supposed to find anything in this
Definitely
mess?
some sci-fi influence here.
I'll know when I see it.
This is our city! We're gonna catch them, cook them, and eat them!
From Rogue Pictures.
How dare they send you here? They started this fire. They come burning it.
And the director of The Descent.
She looks dangerous.
She is.
This spring.
We're losing our city. It's pretty grim, and it's gonna get a whole lot worse.
A new dark age
Have you found the cure?
Abandon any such hope.
No.
will dawn.
Nice color. I'll take it. Hold on.
Too close.
You think?
Rough ride.
Rough enough.
So, I gotta say that a Bentley would not be my first choice during the zombie apocalypse. But that looks cool. I'll probably watch that. I got it written down. I'm writing stuff down. Nick says, okay, so Nick says in the chat, Raw Courage is a good movie with Ronnie Cox. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm going to leave it alone. Oh, if I can spell courage correctly. Raw Courage. I am not seeing it. Rainbow Courage. He said Ronnie Cox. RoboCop. Okay. Let's look up his stuff. Total Recall, Deliverance, Beverly Hills Cop. Has anybody watched the new Beverly Hills Cop on Netflix? I heard it was really good. I just haven't watched it. There's way too much horror for me to watch anything else. I like other things. Let me see. Oh, did I miss it? Okay, so it's Courage. My bad. All right, so let's go back. This one right. Oh, how did I miss that? I think I was just looking for Raw Courage. Marathon runners are taken captive in desert by right-wing militia. This is 1984 and they were making movies like this? Wow. Sick. All right, Raw Courage. I'm writing it down. It's just like one of those road movies where it's just like got chases in it and like car chases and stuff. The film was a passion project for actor Ronnie Cox, who had co-written the script with his wife, Mary. Interesting. Doesn't look like there's a trailer right here on IMDb, but I'm into it. I like it. getting chased by killers. Yeah, those are always good movies. It's thriller. Started out running for glory and ended up running for their lives. This person says it's realistic, which is kind of gnarly. Las Cruces, New Mexico is where it was filmed at. Sick. I like this. This is on the list for sure. So are they bikers? The guys that chase them, the killers? Oh, that's a sick poster. I mean, that's literally the cover art, but I mean, look at that. You're gonna get me side questing again. This kind of shit excites me right here. Oh, that one's even cooler. That one's kind of cool. Wow, we need the VHS of this. For mature audiences. That's what it says up there at the top. I don't know if you guys can see that because of my little frame on the stream, but Roadshow home video. One of these? No. Cool, I like it. Okay, military people. Oh, I see like the camo on the tank, gas tank of the motorcycle. So I wonder if it's like a military bike. Cool, I like it. Thanks for that recommendation. Raw Courage, 1984, Nightmare City, 1980, and Doomsday from 2008. Is that a poster in my pocket or my side questing? It's definitely a poster. So yeah, absolutely love freaking movie posters. I don't have enough wall space. I wish I could show you guys like the amount of posters and shit I have in my house, and I don't know. It's insane. I need more wall space, and my wife is telling me, she's like, "Well, put them on the ceiling," and I'm like, I want to, but then I'll have to look up to see them. You know, I mean, that sounds kind of stupid what I just said, but it's true. Like, I'm out of wall space in my studio, and really out of wall space like in my house, because you know there's only so much poster space that you can have before you look like a dorm room. All right, so yeah, with that, so what I want to do is I want to start wrapping up the stream. So, Nick, I know you said that you sent me your details, and Silverbat, I'm gonna check just to make sure I got them. That way I can let you guys know right now whether or not I have them while we're on stream. So shout out to you guys for winning those movies. All right, so Nick, I got yours, and Silverbat, still waiting on your info. So send it to cinemacreepreviews@gmail.com. So cool to know that Raw Courage is on YouTube. I definitely will probably watch it there on YouTube. And if you don't want to send me your address because you think that's weird or something, I get it. You don't have to claim your prize if you don't want to. But honestly, you know, I'm not going to do anything weird with your address. I'm just going to send you a movie. And you'll have my address too, because it'll be on the envelope. So, it's an exchange. The bat scream on the soundboard, are you talking about from Terror Bat that we watched from like a month ago? That was a gnarly film. So while you guys are here, right? Nick, if you're new here, Tooth Pain, if you're still out there, anybody that's new in the chat tonight, we stream every Tuesday and we stream every Friday. So every Tuesday we do a gruesome game night, and that is where we play horror games. We do the same thing. We talk horror, and you guys get to make fun of me while I suck at horror video games, right? There's a lot on the channel if you want to go back and check those out just to see how they are. But we play horror games, and same deal, right? And then every Friday night we do this. This is the Friday Night Creepshow, where we watch a horror movie together, we talk horror in the chat, and we sometimes do giveaways, and sometimes we go on side quests together and look at random horror shit online, and then we talk about horror movies and what we watched and what we liked and so on and so forth. So I would really enjoy it if Nick, Silverbat, everybody else out there in the chat comes back, and we're starting to get a small little creep community. My channel's still kind of new, so it's nice to see familiar faces come through, and it's nice to see you guys talking to each other in the chat as well. It's a laid-back place to be. I have not played the new NCAA college football game, but Brandon has. He was talking about this yesterday on his stream. It was either yesterday or Wednesday. So yeah, and with that, like, if anybody else streams or anybody else has a YouTube channel, Gamecock Chuck, he's all about South Carolina sports. Boom Squad Gaming, he is all about streaming gameplay over on his Twitch. It's all about coming in, hanging out with a group of friends that likes horror or just likes talking back and forth and supporting one another. So if nothing else, that's what I want this channel to be, and what I want these streams to be, is just like, you got friends here on Friday nights, you got friends here on Tuesday nights, stop by the channel, hang out, bring some snacks, and let's make fun of horror movies together, or let's sing their praises, because we're just a bunch of creeps trying to be entertained out here in these creep streets. I don't know what I'm talking about. But like I said, if you're new to the Cinema Creep channel, there's all kinds of goodness that you can go back and watch. I do want to see if I can get a filler out there right now for maybe what we want to watch next week. So Frank knows, because I was talking to him on the Boom Squad stream last night, actually. I was going in between Night of the Living Dead tonight or this one here, Horror Express. So this might be what we watch next week, next Friday. Now, the thing with these streams is I can't just watch anything I want to watch, because that would make life too easy. I can only watch stuff that's in the public domain, or YouTube will shut us down. I made that mistake early on doing this, and YouTube most definitely will turn off my stream. So we can only watch stuff that's in the public domain. So that's why we watch a lot of older movies, but there's a lot of gold in the old movies, so plenty for us to watch and like. Now this one here has Christopher Lee right here, who is a horror icon, as well as Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing, he Star Wars, Curse of Frankenstein, Horror of Dracula, Horror Express. He's got more, right? Let's go down. Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. Satanic Rites of Dracula. Go down. Creeping Flesh. Like, he has a lot of old movies. The original Tales from the Crypt from 1972, right? So Peter Cushing is an icon. And Christopher Lee, if you don't know, he's not the Dracula, but he is a Dracula. So let's go down. Corpse Bride, he played Pastor Galswell. GoldenEye, played the rogue agent in the video games. Anybody remember GoldenEye video games? The N64. So way back here, past the 90s, in the 70s, the 60s and stuff, right? That's where, I know him from. So he was in movies like, again, Satanic Rites of Dracula, Creeping Flesh, Dracula AD 1972, Count Dracula from 1970, The Castle of Fu Manchu from 1969, The Devil Rides Out 1968. So he's like an early horror icon. Dracula, Prince of Darkness, Castle of the Living Dead, so on and so forth. So cool, appreciate it, Silverbat. Like I said, these will be sent out either Monday or Tuesday. So just depends on when I can make it to the UPS store. Yeah, despite all of his rage, he's just Nicolas Cage in Longlegs. That man, he's trying to rage out, but he does a lot of singing really high pitched in that movie. All right, so we're looking at Horror Express maybe for a showing on next Friday. The synopsis for this is, while on the Trans-Siberian Express, an anthropologist and his rival must contain the threat posed by the former's cargo, a prehistoric ape, which is the host for a parasitic life form. So, directed by Eugenio Martin. And I don't know what he's known for. The Ugly Ones, Sobernatural, and looks like some Italian stuff. So, sick. So yeah, so that's what we're looking forward to maybe next week, unless it changes. And then I don't know whether or not you guys pay attention to the community posts on the YouTube channel, but I always post not just polls of what we should do for the channels, but I always will post what we're going to be watching and the links to the live streams and stuff, just to make it easy for you guys to click through. But other than that, if anybody else has any parting words, I think this is where we're going to end the stream, because I've got to go shoot some videos for the channel. So that's what I'm going to be working on. If you are interested, check out the channel Patreon. It is something that I'm going to start doing a lot more content for. And I'll let you guys link up to it and check it out. See if it's something you're interested in. Right now we got 4 channel patrons for the channel, and that is Frank Rambo, that is Boom Squad Gaming, and Edgar Allan Doe. I think Brandon actually signed up twice, so I actually have 3 channel patrons. There's a free option, there's a $2 option, a $5, and a $10. Don't feel inclined to do it if it's not something you're into, but there's going to be a whole lot more interesting stuff happening over there, with like some VHS searching vlogs. Like I go out and I look for VHS, and I'll take video of that while I'm doing that, as well as advanced screenings and stuff like that. All the information's over there. Frank asked me, do I think Longlegs took a lot of elements from better movies in the genre? Cool. Appreciate you, Nick, for coming out. I will see you on the next one. So real quick, we'll talk about Frank's question here with Longlegs. So Longlegs looks to me like Osgood Perkins, who is the writer-director, right? It looks to me that he is... Let me get up here in serious mode here. It looks like Osgood Perkins. To me, it seems like on Longlegs, he wrote cool scenes, right? He's like, it would be really cool if this happened, and this happened. And then he wrote scenes, and then he tried to fill in the gaps, So he wrote a story around cool scenes. That's what it feels like to me. And the cool scenes that he wrote, he took from, in my opinion, Zodiac, Silence of the Lambs, Prisoners, right? Because the character of Longlegs seems like Paul Dano's character in Prisoners. Micah Monroe's character, Agent Lee Harker, being a new FBI agent recruit, is the same thing that they do in Silence of the Lamb with Jodie Foster's character, right? All the puzzles that they do in Longlegs is basically Zodiac. And then the movie overall, the cinematography was filmed like 7. So I'm just saying, right? Like, it is easy if you watch enough movies to tell where other movies are borrowing from, and everybody does it. Nothing's original. We all borrow. If you're an artist or a creative, we all borrow from somewhere, right? But you want to make it not as blatant, right? Like Tarantino, he takes, scene by scene, like, and he recreates them, right? Like, he'll take a scene and completely rip it off and put it in his movie, and he's open about it, but he changes it just enough to make it interesting. Now, the thing about it is you can't just have the same scene with different characters in it. You need to make me believe that it's different, even though I know it's from somewhere else. You guys have all heard the quote, I'm sure, like, good artist copy, great artist still, right? And if you like Quentin Tarantino, he is a very good example of that, right? Like, he doesn't just copy, he stills it, because most people that watch Quentin Tarantino movies, they don't even care that he took it from somewhere else, or they don't even notice, right? A lot of these other filmmakers, right? Like, you just immediately look at their work and it's like it reminds you of something better you saw somewhere else, right? So that's my problem. And then, Osgood Perkins, he's the son of Anthony Perkins, right? Anthony Perkins, from Psycho. Or, from Psycho, Norman Bates. And, so he has big shoes to fill. He's made movies before, Osgood Perkins has, but those also flop, like the Gretel and Hansel movie that he came out with. They're just whatever type movies. And it's not that he's bad by any means. He just, I don't think, has found his thing yet. I don't think his claim to fame is going to be long legs. I think it's going to be something else that he does in the future. I most definitely am not going to rewatch Long Legs. And it suffers from what most new horror movies suffer from, and that is rewatchability. Like I said, I can pick up these 2 movies right here, right? I can watch them hundreds of times and never get tired of it, right? I can just pick up random movies. I'm just going to pick up some movies right here off my shelf, guys. Just random. These right here. That one in the middle is actual Hereditary on VHS. These, can watch them hundreds of times and not get tired of them, right? We'll pick up 3 more. These right here, same deal, right? Watch these hundreds of times, and I could keep going, and it's not because they're older movies, it's because they were, just better movies, right? Like this movie right here, this is a newer movie from 2009, even though it's on VHS. It's because it's House of the Devil by Ty West. Very rewatchable. I watch this movie probably once a month. One of my favorite horror movies. It's just a good film, like Long Legs, it's not rewatchable in my opinion. Maxine, it's not rewatchable in my opinion. I would probably watch Maxine once more just to see how it is on a small screen. But even though I love Ty West and he's one of my favorites, Maxine's not rewatchable. Long Legs, I won't even watch it when it comes to streaming again. I literally do not care about it. But a movie like Silence of the Lambs, I've seen, 20 times, right? Zodiac, I've seen a handful of times, and I would sit down and rewatch that again. Prisoners, I would rewatch that time and time again. What's the other one? Seven? Like, Seven is amazing. I would rewatch that time and time again. It's just life is not long. Life is not long enough to watch Long Legs more than once. God, I wish I would have said that in my review video. I need to delete the video and go back and remake it now. Yeah, the hate is building. You can see this vein that's starting to like slowly pop out of the side of my neck right here. I'm starting to sweat. My blood pressure is getting higher. Siri's telling me like I need to like stop stressing. My blood pressure's through the roof. My heart rate is fucking starting to beat out of my chest. Look, you may love long legs. I'm just telling you what my opinion on it is. But I will tell you this, because I'm your friend. Do not spend more than $10 to go see it in theaters. Just in case you don't like it. You know, I would hate for you to waste your money. My in-laws were actually going to go see it. And, you know, we went and saw it first. And then they hit me up and they're like, hey, you know, how was that movie? We want to go see it. And I was like, don't spend your money. Wait till it comes out on streaming. You know? And you guys may love it. You know? I just can't. I just can't, because here is what Nicolas Cage reminds me of. Not the white chicks. I mean, he does remind me of the white chicks, but this is literally Nicolas Cage right here, in long legs. Hang on. I'm trying to bring it up, guys. Right here. That is Nicolas Cage in long legs to me. It is like, I was talking with my wife today, and it was like, if there was a sequel to Mrs. Doubtfire, it would be Long Legs. You know, like after Mrs. Doubtfire gets caught for impersonating, Robin Williams gets caught for impersonating Mrs. Doubtfire, goes on the run and then becomes a serial killer that is Long Legs. That's an interesting theory. I need to put that in a video. But yeah. Grab him by the face, like Billy Madison does that one kid. Do you remember that in Billy Madison, where he's grabbing him by the face and he's telling him, how bad school is, and he's like shaking him and his cheeks are just like doing this. And yeah, that's me basically telling everybody about Long Legs. Just yeah, so but like I said, you guys might like it, and I'm not going to judge you if you do like it. It's just, I spent $38 to see it, not including concessions. And if I had a time machine, I would talk myself out of it. But with that, Cuckoo's coming out, right? Beetlejuice is coming out. Beetlejuice. Nosferatu's coming out. What else is coming out? Something else. There's something else coming out in theaters. Cuckoo I'm not going to go see. But I'm going to go see Beetlejuice. I'm going to go see Terrifier 3. And I'm going to go see Nosferatu in theaters. And I'm sure none of those will let me down. But I also said the same thing about Maxine. Said the same thing about Long Legs. I might just be getting old and grumpy. I don't know at this point. Oh, Heretic. That's it. I would see that one in theaters, depending on what else I have going on. I would not rearrange my plans to go see Heretic in theaters. But if I'm just like, oh, it's Wednesday afternoon, what do you want to do? Let's go see Heretic. Like I would go see it like that. But like Maxine, I made plans to see it opening night, move things around in my schedule. Long Legs, opening night, move things around in my schedule to go see it. Nosferatu, most definitely moving things around in my schedule to go see. Beetlejuice, I will probably see that opening night, but I feel like that's going to be insanely packed. So that'll probably be like the following day it comes out, matinee special. But Terrifier 3, opening night. Got to see that opening night. I don't care to rewatch Maxine. Like I said, I would watch it. I'll watch it on streaming just to see how I feel about it again. But I don't think my opinion of it's going to change. Like, it wasn't bad. Better than Long Legs, but not by much. You know, again, it's another, let's just write Satanism into the story and just call it a day. That's what everybody's doing. Like, oh, what is the motive of the bad guys? Let's just write Satanism into the story, and you know, that's their motive. You know, like I said, I mean, whatever your religious belief is, neither here nor there. But me, I don't find any of that stuff scary. I don't prescribe to any of it, but I don't find any of it scary. You know. I just think that it's all kind of like, let's go run around in the woods in our cloaks. You know, even though that's not really what it is, but that's how they portray it in movies, you know. So it reminds me of the Renaissance Fair. Or like people LARPing. You know, I mean, it's like I don't know what you're up to over there in the woods. Are you cosplaying? What's going on, you know? But and the neighbors, you know, like it's just a general assessment, right? Like there is, when you live in suburbia, right? Middle class suburbia, whether it's lower middle class or upper middle class or whatever, there's Satanists abound. They're around. You know, I swear to God that some of my neighbors down the road are swingers. It's hilarious every time I see them because they'll be out walking their dog, and this is just side questing again. You know, just the way the dad always just like says hey to me, or like they say hey to me and my wife when we're out in the front yard. It's just like, it's like I see through your friendly hello. I know what you're trying to do. They're probably Satanists. They probably are swinger Satanists. And toy. Yeah, I think it's all weird. I'm just I'm part of the Church of Nicolas Cage. Hintoy, glad you came in though. I don't know how long you've been here, but shouted you out. Was wondering where you were at. You, Jaime, and Edgar. You know. But I'm glad you showed up nonetheless. Better late than never. So next Friday, Hintoy, we're talking about watching Horror Express. I can't remember what year that was from. 1972. So that's going to be the movie for next week. Right here. It'll be at 11:30 again. Most likely, unless something comes up. But yeah, so this is what we're going to be watching next week. Just to bring you up to speed. And there's a couple movies. If you want to shout out a recommended movie that you think everybody should watch over the weekend, toys, shout it out. So far, this is what we got. That was recommended. We got Doomsday, 2008, Nightmare City, 1980, Raw Courage, 19... What does that say? I'm trying to read that backwards on my screen. 1984, Raw Courage. So there's a couple movies recommended here on tonight's stream. And then Cemetery Man from 1994. I'd recommend that one. Oh, yeah. Society Buttface, dude. Did you guys see the community post? Anybody else? Other than Frank? I think a couple people looked at it. But I can be kind of obnoxious with posting stuff. Right here. So, let's see. Check this out. All right, let me show you guys. So just talking about how gnarly 1980s special effects are, right? So this is from Society. So if you want to watch a movie that is completely out there, check out Society. This is from Reanimator. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen Reanimator, right? I actually have a Reanimator shirt on. Love that movie. This is from... Does anybody know what this is? Can anybody guess this one? We'll come back to it. You guys know this is Evil Dead. This is Nightmare on Elm Street. Prime Time Bitch, that whole scene. Can anybody guess this? Oh, Frank knows it. Yep. Frankenhooker. If you guys have never seen that, I highly recommend watching Frankenhooker. Solid. Do you love this old case right here, Frank? It just says 18, right? Just straight on the cover. Terrifying Tale of Sluts and Bolts. And then suitable only for persons of 18 years and older. But yeah, if you've never seen Frankenhooker Hen Toy, I don't know if you have or not. It's great. Super crack. But yeah, that's about sums up this stream, guys. I could ramble on all night long, but I would keep y'all here till 6 a.m. And like I said, I got to get off here, and I've got to start making some more video content for the channel. I appreciate all you guys coming out. And to the two people that won these VHS tonight, stoked on that for you guys. Whether you're starting a new collection or you already have a collection going, you've got two really rad tapes out of my personal collection. This one is super sick, and I really hate to get rid of this one, but I thought it'd be something cool to offer up for you guys. So, like I said, those will be sent out this week. Other than that, check out the Patreon if you haven't. Check out the new Cinema Creep merch over on the Cinema Creep website. You can look at all of those links down in the description of every video we do. And Hentoy Frank, Silverbat, Chuck, Boom Squad Gaming, who else? Tooth Pain, and Renee, and Nick, right? And everybody else that stopped in. Definitely appreciate you guys. Come back on Tuesday, come back next Friday, and let's do it again.